Господин полковник, я что-то нашел. Меня так, Вит, напишите.
这个鬼呀，让我安静点。我现在不能帮你们。
In the meantime, at the surface of this world of mist, 8 heavily armed horsemen wearing fireproof armor were approaching a thicket at the foot of a hill. It had always been impossible for fire not to have walked in front of it. Each time Sohan tried, the horse would take some steps in place, salivate, and turn in all directions. It was he, in front of his companion Presto, that was leading the pack towards the entrance to the underground passage. They came to a spot covered over with branches of a weeping willow tree. In spite of his usual reluctance, this time Presto was only too happy to let fire go first through this opaque screen. The horseman had to separate the branches and at the same time lower his head as much as possible, since just behind was the entrance to a stone cavern, and it was very low. Presto was big, and Kostya had to let himself slide on the flank to get through. After going through a fairly dark entrance, they came to a beautiful and spacious stable where straw and hay were waiting for them. Side by side, Konstantin and Sohan removed the harnesses from their horses. Kostya was a little less careful and always finished ahead of Sohan. In addition, having been raised on a farm, he had been doing this all his life.
Hey, it seems you've got one side redder than the other.
Leave me alone, will you, Kostya?
If you ask me, the next time you attack, you ought to concentrate on your left to balance it out. What number's your sunblock? I don't think it's strong enough.
Oh, you're too much.
Too much? You better believe it. Did you see that trench I dug when I charged full speed ahead with Presto? That was better than just too much.
Okay, I've got to admit, that was pretty good. But with fire, we have a classier style of fighting. You see, we've got a brain that helps. Actually, I've been meaning to tell you something for a long time. Those strings on the sides, you know they're called reins. You can use them to turn if you want. You don't always have to go straight ahead.
Oh, so that's what those things are for. I've got to try that one day.
He started helping Sohan by getting the hay and putting the equipment away.
Yeah, and with all your classy ducking, you're still lucky I was around to create a diversion, because if I hadn't, we'd have had barbecued Sohan for dinner. For a minute there, I felt this heat hitting my backside like I'd been shot. Lucky for me, I was at a range, but I could really feel the heat. It was like someone had just opened the door of an oven. Just look how twisted the hairs on Presto's tail are.
Okay, thanks, but you're still not careful enough. You get too close. Speed is fine, but one day you're gonna get into trouble running ahead like that. You should stay together with the group.
Oh, it's just too much danger for the little girl. You better stay back and play it safe. Combat is obviously not a girl thing, so it's only natural that you get scared.
Oh, I see. Ladies and gentlemen, we've just found the original Cro-Magnon Macho Man. Here he is.